Noah Cuz. Today I'm going to show you how to make hard dark beats for NARDO WICK from scratch. I could for sure hear this beat on his newest album, maybe with Future on it too. You already heard the beat in the intro, so I'm just going to get started. Most of the sounds that you hear in the melody of this beat are from my anti-collection analog lab banks. You can get those from the first link in the description. So I'm just going to get into this melody now. I made it at 139 BPM. First, I used this Stargate preset for my anti-phase bank. This is the MIDI that I came up with. So basically to make this, I just did a D minor chord and then I brought the third down to a minor second after the first step. And you can see that I just chopped up these chords as I went, just bouncing back and forth between the minor second and the minor third. I also duplicated the root note, which is this D, and then pitched it up an octave. And then I did the same for the fifth. I just brought it down an octave. For the next 4 bars, I just took that melody, duplicated it, and then pitched it up an octave. For effects, I kept it really simple. First, I added this bandpass narrow EQ, just cutting out the highs and the lows. Next, I added this preset from Sketch Cassette, and you can see I just changed this mode to FM, which basically just modulates the flutter. And then I added these bright settings, and then I changed the age some. Next, I added this cassette, and I basically just brought down the stability some, just to give it some more texture. After that, I layered it with this Gansfield pad from my anti-phase bank, and this is what it sounds like. I used the same MIDI, I just trimmed the last part of each 2 bars. For effects on this one, once again I have a bandpass narrow cutting out a lot of the lows and then just a little bit of the highs into the Sketch Cassette, and I basically just changed the same settings. And you can also see that I brought up the highs a little bit with this channel EQ. Alright, next I added this texture one shot from 5 and XY's kit. I stretched it and then basically just changed the length a little bit. This is the envelope that I have going for it. This is what it sounds like. I just wanted like a piercing, unique kind of sound. So on top of the one shot, these are the effects that I added. First, I went into Portal with this Warps preset. Next, I added a simple Valhalla vintage verb into this Valhalla quarter note delay. Next, I added this default Sketch Cassette, and I didn't really change any of the settings besides the saturation and these bright amounts. After that, I added a left and right pan on an 8-bar loop and then a volume sidechain. Next, I added this backwards vocals preset in Effectrix. To get here, you just need to hit the presets, go to this factory 1.3 folder, and then go to backwards vocals. Southside uses this on melodies a lot, so if you're trying to go for that reversed, chopped up effect, definitely use this preset. And then finally on the channel EQ, I cut out a lot of the lows, boosted some of the mids, and then boosted the highs. The next sound I added is this Infinity sub bass from my anti-matter bank. I just have it playing on the root notes. Super simple, I don't have any effects on that. Alright, so next I added these one shots, and you can see I added an automation clip on this one just to kind of make it rise back into the 5th bar right here. And then I have this one going down in volume, kind of dropping into the 9. And the only effect I added is this bandpass narrow. This is what they sound like together. It kind of just sounds like a bunch of random noise if you play it by itself, but it adds a lot to the melody if you play them together. So next I added this ambience from Only One and then this XY perk loop. I have those on the same mixer track, once again with a bandpass narrow, and this is what they sound like. Alright, so once I added all of those sounds, I rendered them out into individual audio clips, and then I structured out the loop how I wanted it. So really the most complex thing that I did is I chopped up this lead sound. I basically just took out the occasional half bar. On the keys, the pad, and then each 4 bars on the bass, you can see I just brought the length a little bit shorter to make it sound like it was being chopped. That's a really good way to add bounce to your melodies. So for structuring, in this first part, I have everything playing. In the next part, I took out that lead. The next part after that, I took out the keys. And then after that, I copied it over and then took out the bass. And then after that, I stemmed out the entire loop. After I had the arrangement done, I put it into one audio channel and I added these master effects. First, I added this Good Hertz can opener. I brought the angle up to 71, the amount to 115. I clicked flip left and right, and then I brought up the treble by 6.5, and I brought up the bass a little bit. This plugin just helps with the stereo image a little bit. Next, I added good hertz wow control. I brought down the analog noise gain all the way, and I put the amount to like 6%. Next, I went into this EQ, just boosting the highs, boosting the mids, boosting the lower mids, and then boosting the lows, kind of just shaping the sound how I wanted it. And then I made everything below 53 hertz mono. After that, I went into this master desk plugin, just kind of just shaping the tone, shaping the dynamics a little bit. Next, I have good hertz lossy, limiting it to 30 hertz all the way up to 10K. Brought the amount to 19, the speed to 22, and then I brought the mix down to 16%. This limiter is on the end, but it's really not even doing anything. It just makes this that way it doesn't go above 0 dB. Alright, so I'm in the project file for the beat right here. For my master, I just use one plugin. It's this T-Rex 5 classic clipper. I just use the plus 6 dB soft clip preset. So yeah, I'm just gonna get into the beat. All of these drum sounds are in my Noah Cuz Essentials Volume 1 drum kit. You can get it on drumify.com. So first I went with the snare. This is dumb simple. I'm gonna show you guys what I did. Basically, I just went like that, and then I copied it over. Deleted these on that one, deleted this first one on that one, deleted them on the second one, and kept all of them on this last one. Next, I wanted another snare to bounce with that, so I just added the second one. I just duplicated that over for the next 4 bars as well. Next, I added this hi-hat. Once again, duplicating that over for the next 4 bars. So for NARDO WICK hi-hats, you just want to do a 2-step and then add a simple roll somewhere throughout it. But you want mainly the 2-step driving the rhythm. Next, I added this open hat, just dropping on the 1. And then I added this reverse open hat for the second part of the chorus. So I'm just going to play what that sounds like with a melody so far. Alright, so now I'm going to break down this 808. And honestly, this 808 is what adds the whole bounce to this whole beat. So I'm just going to play what the 808 sounds like right now. So I just kind of added this simple trap 808, hitting on this beat and then hitting on this one. Basically, these ones are just kind of offset. It would be more normal to put it like something like this, but I decided to offset those notes just a little bit to give it more bounce. And then I brought the velocity down on the second one. I did that same thing on this part up here. I just added another note in the middle and then I pitched that up an octave. I duplicated this over for the next 4 bars and I just pitched these up an octave. After that, I added it over to the kick, and this is what the kick sounds like. I'm just gonna play the main drums and the melody, just that way you can hear how it's bouncing together. So for mixing, all I did is just some simple leveling on all of the drums. I didn't add effects on any of these except for my tag. In the melody, I am automating the EQ, just that way when the 808 comes in, I have this low cut going, and I tune this low cut down here to the key of the beat, and you can see I have the lows coming back in whenever the bass part of the melody plays. So that's basically in the intro, the bridge, and the outro. But yeah, that's the whole beat. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want the sounds that I use in this beat, you can get my anti-collection, analog lab banks, and my Noah Cuz Essentials Volume 1 drum kit from drumify.com. Links to those will be in the description below. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys learned something. I'm out. Happy holidays. Peace.